Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. Please subscribe and keep watching more details. 90-Day Fiancé's David Toborowsky reveals shocking health issue after welcoming second daughter. 90-Day Fiancé star David Toborowsky has been silently dealing with a health condition, amid revealing that he's welcomed a second daughter after having baby Minthira with Annie Suwan. David took to Instagram to share a video of him cutting grass with shears. David joked as he compared the situation to how he had not been intimate with Annie for 18 months and didn't know what to expect once he did. Annie laughed in the background while filming her husband. In his caption, which was more serious, David wrote that he had tried to help Annie with the grass earlier but added, "You have to understand that I hurt my back while I was back in the US." David continued, "My fault, but I tired anyway." When David Toborowsky first appeared on 90-Day Fiancé, few viewers could have predicted the whirlwind journey that would follow, not just for him, but for fans who would come to love, or sometimes critique, his every move. Now, years after his television debut, and with a new perspective sharpened by love, challenges, and unexpected fame, David is ready to reveal the parts of his story you didn't see on screen. At first glance, David didn't seem like your typical reality TV heartthrob. He wasn't chasing stardom, wasn't desperate for attention, and definitely wasn't playing a character. "I was just being me," he laughs, leaning back in a worn leather chair during our candid conversation. And somehow, people found that interesting. Or maybe they found it confusing. Probably both. He's referring, of course, to the complex tapestry of his relationship with Annie Suwan. Their romance, cross-cultural, unconventional, and some argued, unrealistic, faced skepticism from day one. But as David reveals, their bond was built not on fairy tale fantasies, but on unshakable resilience. "I had nothing when I met Annie," he says bluntly. "Not in the way people measure success, anyway. I was broke. Emotionally, financially, I was starting over." David's honesty is disarming. He doesn't dodge the messiness. He walks straight through it, inviting you to do the same. He talks about his divorce, the depression that followed, and the internal reckoning that led him to Thailand. A journey originally meant to be a retreat, but that became a beginning. "That first night I met Annie, she sang karaoke," he recalls, eyes lighting up. "I didn't know what she was saying, but I knew how she made me feel." Their connection wasn't instant in the way romantic comedies paint it, but it was undeniable. And soon, what started as a sweet, spontaneous meeting turned into something more serious. Annie was young, full of life, and living in a world far from David's, geographically, culturally, emotionally. Yet they found common ground. It wasn't always easy, and David is the first to admit that. "The truth is, we had no idea what we were getting into," he says. There's no handbook for an international relationship, especially one where both people come from completely different backgrounds. But we learned, reality and TV we added an extra layer of complexity. Suddenly, every awkward moment, every argument, every cultural misstep was on display for the world to judge. David confesses that there were moments he wanted to walk away from the cameras. "It's hard to have millions of people critique your love story when they don't know the half of it," he says. "People thought I was using her. People thought she was using me. We were both just trying to figure life out." But David and Annie didn't just survive the scrutiny. They thrived. Today, their relationship has blossomed into a genuine partnership. They run a cooking business together, make public appearances, and post playful, often hilarious content on social media. The couple's success isn't flashy or forced. It's grounded in something more enduring, shared growth. David reveals something even more surprising. He almost didn't do the show. I backed out 3 times, he confides. I was scared. Not of being judged, I've been through worse, but of being misunderstood. Of Annie being hurt by people who didn't know her heart. Eventually, it was Annie who convinced him. She said, "Let them see. Let them know us." And that changed everything. Today, fans know them well. Or at least they think they do. David is revealing new layers now. His continuing battle with health, the anxiety that fame triggered, and the surprising benefits of becoming a meme. "I didn't expect to be famous because of my belly," he jokes, referring to a viral moment where fans fixated on his shirtless scene. But hey, if it makes people smile, it's worth it. Behind the humor, though, is a deeper commitment to Annie, to self-improvement, and to using his platform for good. David now works with charities that focus on cultural education and mental health. He regularly speaks about emotional resilience, especially among men who often feel societal pressure to be stoic. "Being vulnerable saved me," he says. "It connected me with people who needed to hear, 'You're not alone.'" He's also become something of an unexpected mentor to newer 90 Day Fiancé cast members. "I tell them, protect your relationship first. The show is temporary. What you build together is what matters." As for Annie, David lights up whenever he talks about her. "She's the real star," he says. "I'm just lucky to be along for the ride." He describes her as the firecracker who calms my chaos, someone who keeps him grounded yet dreaming. "We fight," he admits. "Of course we do. But we also listen, we laugh, and we never stop trying." When asked what he hopes people take away from his journey, David pauses for a long time before answering. "I hope they see that it's never too late. Not to fall in love. Not to start over. Not to change." He looks around the small studio where we're talking, decorated with photos of Thailand, spice jars from Annie's cooking sessions, and notes from fans all over the world. "I used to think I'd peaked in my 30s, that everything after that was downhill. But life had other plans. Messy, beautiful plans." In the end, what David Toborowsky reveals isn't a scandal or a salacious secret. It's something quieter, but far more powerful. That love, real love, isn't picture perfect. It's patient, it's persistent, and it often shows up just when you've stopped looking. Would you like a version optimized for SEO or formatted as a blog post for publishing?